Hi, Year 4, and welcome to our class reader. Okay, then, so chapter 7, we've just found out that the Fawcett twins are not very nice, and that poor old Fred has not had best experience in trying to get into the school team, and has been teased a lot by the Fawcett twins about that. So, chapter 7, click here. I feel really bad, said Ellie, trying to help Fred out of the dustbin. Isla and Morris's last move, a classic bit of bullying, was to plonk Fred in the computer room bin bottom first, so that his legs stuck out like a wheelbarrow handle. There we go. Poor old Fred, stuck in the bin. Don't feel really bad, said Fred. What did you say? Said Ellie. I said Fred, trying hard this time not to groan as he said it, don't feel really bad. But I'm your sister. She grabbed hold of his legs and pulled, and just because I'm a girl shouldn't mean that I can't protect you from bullies. And as she spoke, her weight finally pulled her brother and the bin attached to his bum, looking not unlike a snail shell, forward. 2 seconds later, the bin clattered to the floor, popping Fred out as it went. He picked himself up. I know that, Ellie, but you tried your best. It wasn't your fault that Isla's arm is quite long. This was a reference to the fact that while Fred was getting his dead leg and his elbow drilled and his wedgie, Isla had been holding an arm out and blocking Ellie from getting close enough to help her brother by putting her palm on Ellie's forehead. Ellie had swung her arms a few times, but sadly got nowhere near landing any punches. Anyway, where's the laptop? Fred said. They both looked round. It wasn't on the shelf any more. It was on the floor next to some scrunched up sweet papers that had fallen out of the bin. It had landed upside down in the shape of a tiny tent. Oh no, said Ellie. She lifted it up carefully as if it was a bird whose wings had folded down across its body after an injury. But it was fine. When she turned it round, more than fine actually, the screen seemed to be glowing brighter than ever, and on the screen the browser had clicked through to a new page on which was shown this. It was an amazing looking controller. It was black, but with blue lines running across its body. There weren't 4 buttons on the top right-hand side as normal, but 6, and they weren't lettered or numbered or ordinary colours, red and green and yellow. They were jewelled, silver and gold and diamond and emerald and amber and ruby. The control stick, which also had a jewelled top, appeared to be reaching out of the screen as if in 3D. Its central button had no recognisable trademark, but just an image of something. It might have been a person or an animal or a ghost dancing. Yeah, wow, said Ellie. She clicked on the screen for a closer look. At which point the blue lines running across the body of the controller lit up and began to pulse. The blue light washed across Ellie and Fred's spellbound faces. What is this website? Said Fred. I don't know. Ellie was still staring, enraptured at the screen. But I do know that this is my controller. Really? Said Fred. Yes, said Ellie. I can feel it. Fred nodded. He knew there was no point in arguing with Ellie when she had set her mind on something. Okay, but how do we pay for it? Ellie frowned. A link popped up that simply said, click here. So she did. There was a moment of computer fuzz, and then in a little window next to the controller, a man, bald but with long hair at the back, wearing very small square sunglasses and a head mic, appeared on screen. He looked directly at the twins. I am. Oh, blast, wait a minute. He flicked a switch on his head mic. I am, he said again, but now his voice had a slight electronic echo. The mystery man. Fred and Ellie exchanged glances. Right, said Ellie. Nice to meet you. The man nodded. There was a long pause. The mystery man seemed to be sizing them up from inside the screen. Eventually he said, answer me this. Are you nerds? Sorry, said Ellie. Are you nerds? He said more loudly. Fred and Ellie looked at each other. They took in each other's V-necks, glasses and braces. They thought for a moment about their joint liking for superheroes, comics, Japanese fantasy animation films, maths and video games, and they realised that the answer was, "Well, yes, I suppose so," said Ellie. "Yes, I suppose so too," said Fred. "No, that's not good enough," said the mystery man from the laptop screen. "You need to say it loud and say it proud. You need to own it. So once more, are you nerds?" Fred and Ellie looked at each other again. Ellie shrugged. "Actually," she said, "we've got these other friends. Sort of friends," said Fred. "Yes, and they're probably more nerdy than us." "The eye Barbies. They're too young," said the mystery man. "I'm not interested in them." Ellie made a face. "Rude," she said. "Can we get on?" said the mystery man. "Are you or are you not nerds?" Fred and Ellie looked at each other for a third time. They didn't have to speak to each other to know what they were going to do. "Yes," they said, turning back to the screen, "we are nerds." The mystery man nodded, seeming finally satisfied. He reached down somewhere below the little window and pressed a button. A mysterious sounding chord, like something from the soundtrack of an old horror movie, played tinnily. "Then you, Ellie and Fred Stone," the mystery man continued, "are the new owners of the controller." Oh, it's getting exciting, isn't it? Okay, join me in chapter 8 and hopefully we'll find out what the controller is and the mystery behind it. Okay, have a good day, children. Bye.